I'm home. Unlike the usual silence, Ro calls for me. Natalie, can you go over for a minute? When had she last been the one to call out to me? That's something I haven't considered being a possibility in a very long time. I walk over to her room. Yes? Rochelle plays with her hands as if she's unsure of how to bring up the subject. Thank you for the photos, they were nice. However... Yes? That kitten! Was there anyone with it? No, it was alone, I think. Isn't that strange? For a kitten to be all alone, I mean. I guess, but it had a collar, so it might just live nearby. She doesn't look convinced. You know what? I'll see if I spot it on my walk and make sure. That would be great! Do you want to come and see it? I can see how she considers it. How her brows furrow and her eyes trace the crevices of the floorboards. It might get scared with yet another stranger around. Best you go alone. Scared of frightening it, huh? That's not the excuse I've ever heard from Roselle, the great cat whisperer. Maybe this case is a little bit more delicate, but it's not like the kitten trusts me either. However, if she doesn't want to, I can't force her. I'll just do my best then. Wish me luck. Good luck! Empowered by her blessing, I head out. Just before leaving, I put the cake in the fridge and make my way to the old pedestrian street again. I'm surprised to see the kitten sitting next to the tree, just like it had the ordered egg. It is a little strange to find such a young cat out here all alone again. I would like to have a closer look at its collar, as it might have a number... That could be number 2. Or a dress on it. The kitten is sitting next to a tree trunk, looking at the passerby. It looks healthy, so someone must be feeding it, at least. I really hope that I'm just overthinking it. From our last meeting, I know I should be careful when I approach it. No sudden movements or sounds that will scare it. Having made my approach, I speak to it softly to get its attention. Hail the friend, we need a proper name for 2, don't we? Number 2! Number 2, what do you think of that? The kitten glances at me with big eyes, which I decide to be an approval. This reminds me that I still have cat treats in my pocket, maybe number 2 will like them. But I'm not the only one with the eyes for the kitten. A kid separates from his mother's hand to chase the kitty. Number 2 runs away, but in my direction. I can't let it get away. It's probably for the best to let it run. The kid's caught by his mother, so I don't have to worry about him anymore. I follow him around the corner and find it hiding in a doorway. Its body is pressed in the corner, and its eyes watches me carefully. The ordeal has gotten me pretty close, maybe I have a chance here. Fuck. Here I thought maybe, but no. Listen, number 2. You don't have to be afraid of me anymore. Well, there's no twigs to use for play, and even if there were, I'm not sure that would be a good idea. Maybe a bite to eat would help the little creature to feel at ease. This situation isn't exactly what I'm used to, but I believe in the versatile powers of food. I crouch down and toss a treat carefully so it lands next to the kitten. It snaps its eyes on the new object and sniffs the air. When it's convinced it won't move again, it sneaks up on the treat and eats it. When finished, it sniffs around the ground for more. I throw another one and the projectile makes number 2 shy away before quickly turning to eat the food. I throw the treats closer and closer to me, so number 2 can get within reach. However, number 2 becomes aware of that and grows more careful approaching the treats, backing away when it has grabbed it. It's a slow process, but I get the kitten close enough. I slowly pick out a few treats and place them on my palm. I extend my hand slightly in front of me, making sure the kitten can see them. Number 2 looks at them but hesitates, so I throw one of them halfway between us. The kitten crouches down and sneaks up to the treat, carefully watching me. After snacking on the nearest street, it looks curiously at my hand, stretching its head out. It takes a reluctant step towards me, and I have to stay completely still. Movements like a statue, a gargoyle on Notre Dame. Or maybe not a gargoyle, they come to life, right? As number 2 gets closer, it grows braver and walks up the last steps to smell my hand. I feel its whiskers tickle my fingertips, but I stay still as the mountain. Number 2 takes the first treat, and I clearly hear it snap as it bites into it. One after another, the treats disappear until my hand is empty. I know number 2 won't like it, but I will still have to grab it to check its color. My hand is close and picks the kitten up. I quickly pressed against my chest to stabilize it. Risky. Number 2 tenses up as soon as I touch it, but feels slightly calmer after a few seconds in my bosom. There you are, such a good kitty. I try to soothe the kitten and gently strokes it with my thumb. When it is calm, I place it on my lap to check the color. Number 2 meows, and I find a phone number that I write down on my phone. When that is done, I loosen my grip and stroke the kitten gently to make it forget my manhandling. Then I have to let go, and number 2 scares away, but I don't think we are back on square one. I leave some treats on the ground in case it comes back and leave. As soon as I get home, I walk into Ruth's room. I got a number! Number 2 had 1 on its collar. Oh, and I followed your rule, I named it. I also forgot to mention that I named the baker cat as well. It's number 1. What are we waiting for? Call it! I type the number and let the signals go by. They go on for longer and longer. No answer! No, that's not pure so. I'll have to try again later. Keep me updated. I will. Go to work. I try to call a few more times. Eventually I give up and head out for work. There are slow news days, and then there are dead news days. I need to get something published today, or my boss will get on my case. Might as well have a stroll and see if I can at least find something worth writing about. The city, beautifully lit in dark as I find my way down to the top path, is probably one of the prettiest spots around here. Another advantage it has going for is the fact that for some arcane reason, almost nobody ever goes there, rendering it a quiet place for thoughts to be had. Hang on a moment, what's that sound? My phone is interrupted by aggressive growling and a tremendous noise near the bridge. My curiosity is getting the better of me, and I simply walk over to check the source of the racket. In the glow of lamplight, there is a group of cats staring at each other, hissing and swatting their paws. 4 of them seem to be working together against a somewhat larger, rougher looking one. Could it be the same one as from the other day? It looks like it, and it appears to be in trouble. That's the resulting. 4 against 1 is hardly sporting. So why not even the odds a little bit? I have a bottle of water in my bag, and I'm not afraid of using it. I run the scuffle. Hey! They don't pay me much heed for. I unscrew the cork of my doomsday device and unleash a raging torrent at the cats. Well, at least as much of a raging torrent as the bottle would allow. While my aim is not perfect, I do manage to hit the 4 upstarts, but the older cat ends up being collateral damage in the process. 10 youngsters dance into the night, hissing with displeasure, and the remaining cat stays with me. It stands there and stares at me with those piercing eyes. I can't say it looks particularly happy at the present. Breaking eye contact with a nod, it starts to clean off the water with its tongue. Maybe the cat is at least a little bit appreciative for the help. It's hard to tell, and at least we think like both the conquering hero and the ill-willed villain. In the end, I think it does know that I was trying to help. I stay for a good while, making sure that the pack of rascals don't return. In the meantime, I should come up with a name for it. Number 3. More time passes before I address the cat in a relaxed tone. Okay, number 3, time for me to go. I've got work to do, but I will see you around. I turn around and continue on my way down along the canal. A few months later, I notice a shadow out the corner of my eye by my left foot. Looking down, I find that number 3 has decided to come along. We follow the canal in silence, a feeling of mutual respect in the air. Maybe we have some things in common after all. A few more minutes go by before the cat stops sitting by the water once again. I feel only compelled to find a justification for staying here. Fuck, how come he... Really? Kinda makes sense for, I guess, the cat doesn't want the place to be full of rubbish, right? And so the cat distracts me from the cat. This place is beautiful. How can people decide to just drop whatever rubbish they're carrying here of all places? Yeah, throw them into the rubbish bins. They were strong enough to carry it when it was full. Why is it so impossible to do so when it's empty? There's even a garbage bin right there. More than mildly annoyed, I stuffed the can in my bag to recycle later, ending up picking the other legs and putting them in the bin. Number 3 follows me around, with its eyes as I do. With just a modicum of effort and a minute or two, the spot looks much better. Number 3 stands up, walks over a bit and sits down next to a piece of paper. Missed this, did you? Thank you for your invaluable contribution. I make an executive bow before realizing it's a cat. Somewhat embarrassed, I grab the paper with a haste, not really thinking much about it, but we were for a moment so close we nearly touched. A thought strikes me. Clearly I'm also some sort of cat's chosen like raw, and if so, this must be a test or some other pretentious thing like that, right? I chuckled quietly to myself. If I tried to touch number 3, I might for real lose my hand as well as most of my arm and both my face, but why is it so tempting? Fuck! Why doesn't it like food? Number 3! What is wrong with you? But it's annoying that I have to go from the very beginning and I can't save the game manually. Okay, so you don't like food. Still clutching the paper in one hand, I crouch down again and reach out a tentative hand. Number 3. Sit still and follow my hand's movements with that look I never quite interpret. Never can quite interpret. It's all or nothing. For glory, for honor, and to potential dismemberment. I reach for the top of its head and touch its rat fur. Weathered from a long time of living on the streets, I scratch the scruffy hair on its shoulders now, and number 3 tolerates me with a disinterested glance. Number 3 might not be exactly as unfriendly as a princess would indicate, but again, looks can be deceiving at all that. I don't want to push it any further, and I'm satisfied with that. The cat must have at some point been close to humans as well. Even I, in my utter incompetence, can tell that this isn't just a feral rover. While certainly not the smoothest friendships, I get the feeling that number 3 is at least somewhat less indifferent towards me. Number 3 and I would have to part ways for now, but I'm looking forward to meeting it again. Once back at work, inspiration hits me. I could always write a little piece about the issue of abandoned cats around the city. After all, I never noticed before, so bringing it to light might result in some good. Huh. Not a bad girl, not bad, not a bad idea. Returning home in the morning, I met with a surprise. I looked through my pockets for my keys, only to find none. I must have dropped them somewhere. With resignation, I knocked steadily on the door. A short while later, Roselle opens it with a surprised look on her face. She looks tired. I'm not sure if I woke her up or not, however. I dropped my keys. Oh! I'll have to go looking for them after I've had time to sleep. Are you going anywhere? No, not really. With that, we separate into our respective rooms. Sleep. I go to the bakery during the afternoon this time around, as the bakery won't open in the weekend due to the move. So this will be the last time I go to this alley. During the walk I'm sure to keep my eyes peeled in case I dropped my keys here, but I'm fairly sure I didn't. I enter the bakery and I'm almost feeling a little nostalgic as I look around. It won't change my routines that much to go to the new place, but I'm a little bit worried about number 1. I ask the owner about it when she hands me my bread. Will you bring the cat along with you to a new place? The owner gently shakes her head. There is no good place for it to stay at the new bakery, you can't let it inside. Isn't there anyone that can take it home then? We have tried it, but it got really angry and anxious when we tried to carry it away. It really likes it with us, but when push comes to shove, we'll have no choice but to force it to. I'm sure it will work out somehow. Have you seen a pair of keys, by the way? I've dropped them somewhere. I haven't, but I'm sure to be on the lookout. The owner smiles urgently and continues on with work. I leave the bakery feeling ill at ease. I walk up to number 1. I notice that it looks a bit uneasy, but cheers up some when it sees me. The cat must know that something is going on. I should at least try to comfort it before I go. Cuddles are the best cure for anxiety. I sit down next to its little bed and reach out my hand to caress its head. Number 1 closes its eyes, purring, and we sit like that for a while. We can't leave number 1 without anyone caring for it. It feels weird to think of the cat being anywhere else but here in the back alley. This is its home. I keep a close eye on the cat. It's looking much happier after some cuddling. Efforts are to play in my mind. What if I could take number 1 home with me? Number 1 seems like a cat that would like most people. Sure, that might be a presumption, but I feel like we have a little bit of a special bond. I've gotten better with cats, I think, and I know Rosella owned cats in Bath, so we would be able to care for it. Our apartment is big enough and my income isn't bad. You don't need to point that out, okay? It could be doable. No, it's entirely doable. Let's try it out. It will depend on if number 1 likes me or the bakery more entirely. Number 1 inches close to my hand and snugly close to it. I stroke gently with my free hand. Fuck. Number 1, what? At least I know when are the good choices. I roll up my sleeves and crack my knuckles, a quiet joke to myself. The charm blitz is on and there is no escaping it. I'll make number 1 a happy, not so little cat. Begin my scratch behind the cheeks. I run my fingers through the thick fur and give it a scratch from the ears to the chin. I move hands down to the chest and neck digging the fluffy chest hair. When I scratch the fur over the shoulders, I notice its front paws claw the quilt under it in comfort. The cat rolls over, exposing its tummy, and I give number 1 a proper belly rub. Number 1 must feel spoiled to bits after that. The cat remains on its back, eyes closed, but then gives me a glance. The look seems to say, "Oh, you finished already? Aren't you supposed to be feeling bad?" Number 1 chases after my hand, demanding to receive more pets, even though I've been at it for minutes already. When I don't immediately comply, it looks at me with those puppy eyes. "You're a cat for." Number 1 certainly seems to want to keep me around, but is that enough for it to be willing to follow me home? I'd like to give the cat a little test to see. Walk away and call for it to follow. Just be that. Carry it home. This one. Would number 1 voluntarily follow me out of the cell if I just called for it? Would hardly hurt to try. I give the cat a last pat on its head and then walk away, not stopping before I reach the next street. Not that far of distance really, but it can be for a small cat. I make eye contact with number 1 that eyes me curiously. Without breaking it, I crouch down and reach out with a hand. "Come here, number 1. I click my tongue and the cat's ears respond, homing in on the sound. I call again, and after some hesitation it makes its way down from its bed. It trots lazily over to me, swaying with every step. I offer my hand for pets, and before accepting it, number 1 glares me, rests with me for making it walk all the way over here. But still, it did it, and I'm very proud of it. I've snuggled it properly, and then comes the real test. I place my hands around number 1's body and pick the cat up. Oh my god, it's heavy! Oh, actually there's a text. Gosh, it's heavy! I shuffle it around so I have a good hold around it, and the cat strokes its face against mine. Seems like number 1 passed the test, or maybe it was I that did. I'll have to tell the owner and the bakers that I'll take number 1 with me. I stand at the door, but I don't want to drop the cat now, so I walk in with it in my arms. The owner will have to excuse me, but it's a special occasion. The owner's eyes open in surprise when she sees that. Well, would you look at that? Seems like our little charmer has been charmed itself. It seems like it doesn't mind coming with me, if that is fine with you guys. Of course. We're going to be happier that it finds a proper home. And knowing it too makes it feel even better. Does Roselle know about this? No, I'm just hoping she won't mind. The owner lets out a huge laugh. I can't imagine she ever would. Take a look from me. I will. And I will keep you all updated on number 1. That's what I call it, by the way. Number 1? It's a suiting name! No sarcasm involved. Number 1, and I bid our farewell to the old baker and the alley. I never found my keys, so they must be down by the canal. First, however, I must break the news to Roselle. This one. Okay. I don't want to cause her a heart attack, so it's best I warn her. You know the bakers are moving out. They were looking for someone to take number 1 in, and I might have agreed to it. I'm coming home over it right now. I check the phone a few times, and finally it gets marked as red. No reply. The door home is unlocked, and I kick off my shoes before heading for Roselle's room. I reach for the handle, but it is beaten to it as Roselle opens the door for me, letting me in. How is number 1? Fine, I think. They didn't complain at all the entire way here. You didn't reply, so I don't know yet. Is it fine for you to let number 1 live with us? Of course! Can't let it stay on the street! But we'll have to get it a few things. Yeah, I was thinking of heading down and grabbing the necessities now. You'll need to buy Thai food, a litter box, unscented litter, you know, I can write you a list. And that would be great. Could you help number 1 make itself at home, and I will get it now? Sure! And I hand her the cat, and she burrows her face in for taking in the moment. Number 1 looks quite comfortable too. They probably want some time to themselves, so I head out. After a few minutes, I receive a very long list of things I will have to find. I must find nearly all of them and drop them off at home before heading down the canal to look for my keys. I can't stay without them for much longer. As I get to the town path, it's already becoming dark. I place my hopes on that setting sun will hit the keys just right and make them shine up. I keep my eyes peeled on the ground, make my way back to my workplace and on the canal. A hunch makes me look back, and I surely spot number 3 following me with silent steps. I wonder how long it has been doing that. Or why. Possibly they keep an eye on anyone in its turf. The cat keeps stalking me a slight distance, and I ignore it the best I can. My keys are top priority right now. I walk the entire talk path without spotting them. I guess I will walk back, check some of the busier areas more carefully. I spot that number 3 has stopped following me and is playing with something next to the edge of the canal. Good that it's keeping itself entertained. So, I'm a bit curious to what would interest number 3. If my keys can wait this long, they can wait a little longer. The cat is sitting right... That's the sound of the keys. The cat is sitting right next to the water and is poking at something, almost like it doesn't want to admit that it's playing. When I get closer, I get a better look at the object. Wait! Those are my keys number 3 is playing with! I can't believe the cat managed to find them! I don't have the time to take a sigh of relief before the cat pokes the key, so they inch closer to the watery doom. I must do something quick to prevent the cat stroke from happening. Walk up and grab them. Run to grab the key. Okay, I think that was a bad choice. I reach out my hand in front of me, trying to mentally keep the cat still. I can't slightly and walk closer slowly, carefully not to agitate the cat. It looks at me momentarily before losing interest and looks down at the keys again. Now they're number 3. Let's not be hasty. I watch as Poe closes in on the bundle. Number 3! I leap forward, but it's too late. Alright, we have to go back because we need to save the keys. Alright. We need them to get to the house, okay? Okay. Number 3 is no stranger anymore. I call out to the cat and see me walk up to it. Number 3 looks up to me and watches me as I bend down and grab the keys. Good job, fight them, number 3. Their cries averted, my keys are found and secured, and number 3 doesn't appear to hate me. Go home, hang out with the cat, play with the cat using keys. Hang out? The sun is still setting and I got no work tomorrow either, so I can safely stay longer and spend some time with number 3. I make sure to sit comfortably next to Cat and we both bask in the sun's last moment. I have a feeling that number 3 isn't really much for cuddling or playing, but prefers just the company. I find it really sweet that someone like number 3 would enjoy my company. How far we have gotten? Not a long time ago it would have been crazy to be this close to number 3. The cat would probably have killed me. That must mean he trusts me pretty well now. The sun disappears in the horizon, and reluctantly I make the decision that it's time to leave. I hesitate before reaching out my hand and give number 3 a pat on the head before I stand up. See you around! I turn and start to walk away with steady steps. I walk down the very familiar town path. I wonder how Roselle is doing at home. After a while I recognize faint footsteps behind me and turn around to see that number 3 is still following me. I shrug, thinking it will stop eventually, but as I leave the town path it's still following me. You come with me, huh? Number 3 responds by following along all the way to my door. This is my stop. Number 3 has stopped and is looking at me, waiting. Having said goodbye, I open the door, only for number 3 to waltz on it. Waltz on in, like it owns the place. The cat looks around and jumps up on the sofa to get a better look at things. Ro, we have a visitor. It takes Roselle a moment to make it to her door, and when she steps out she has number 1 in tow. She freezes as she spots number 3 and turns to shove number 1 back in her room and close the door. What's going on? Not sure, but decided to follow me home. Why did you look away, number 1? We can't just throw 2 cats who don't know each other together and expect things to go well. There is a process for these things, you know. Can't say I do know. How does it work? You have to gradually introduce them to each other. At first they will just have to meet through my door, so they have a chance to get used to the other's presence. So number 3 can stay. If it wants to, I won't be one to kick it out. We'll need another bowl full and number 3 should probably have some richer food. I'll get that tomorrow then. I notice how her attention shifts towards the sofa and how her eye slowly sets on number 3. The cat eye is inhuman with suspicion, but I know Roselle can get the barrier down in no time. I don't want to disturb her work, so I leave her to it. I'll buy the things before my walk tomorrow. Is this the game where we create 2 old ladies that basically live only with cats? I bought the new things and I'm heading out for my Sunday stroll. By the look of it, this morning number 3 and Roselle are getting along well, so I'm not the slightest bit worried over leaving them alone. As I near the pedestrian street, I peel my eyes trying to spot a certain kitten. I'll most likely find it in its usual spot, but I don't trust it not to have moved. I see that tree in the distance and it grows closer as I walk. There's no kitten to be seen. I reach the corner and circle around the tree, but I can't see number 2. Maybe it actually got home. If that were to be the case, it would be great. A meow crushed my hopes and I look around, still no spotting it. The next meow I can tell comes from above and I look up. Number 2 looks down at me from a high up branch in the tree. What's it doing up there? It doesn't look very safe. I haven't climbed the tree in ages, but I did it some back in the day. Except for the first part, it looks like a pretty easy climb. Okay, that was not a good choice, apparently. Raw power won't work? Seriously? Damn, I can't believe. So many mistakes. See if we can get it calm down this out. It isn't certain that number 2 would be stuck and it would be a shame to do anything risky if it wasn't necessary. I'll try and see if it will calm down on its own first. I stand next to the trunk and call to the kitten. Number 2 meows back and I see it moving its paw slightly but not moving away from its spot high up in the tree. After trying some more and giving the kitten some time, I figure it must actually be stuck. It's possible that it's just too scared of the people to come down, but when its pouches are empty, I have to do something. It needs my help. Fuck! I look around finding a wheeled garbage bin around the corner. I'll put it back when I'm done with it, but for now I'll pull it next to the tree. Careful not to scare the kitten and further climb up on the bin. From there it's not too great of a task to find footing at the lowest branch. I look up and the kitten stares back at me, mewing, twinkly and visibly scared. Someone must have started up here and it does know how to get back down. It looks at me and I'm fairly sure it recognizes me. Number 2 is scared of the situation, but I see no sign of me being the source of any of its fright. Hello there, number 2. I talk to it as I slowly make my way up, keeping a close eye on the kitten so that I can stop if it finds my advance unsettling. Luckily I can find plenty of food and handholds. Number 2 is out on pretty thin branches, but fortunately it stays put. Maybe it knows that I'm here to help it. I continue to talk to it as I advance and I hear number 2 meow weakly. Whenever it's safe to look away from where I'm stepping, I check the kitten and it waits in what appears to be anticipation. I climb until I'm at the same cave as number 2 and it meows loudly while staring at me. I remain stationary, which is good, however it's just a little too far away out on the thinner branches. Maybe I could lean out far enough to grab it, but if it would come closer on its own, that would be good too. Let's try this one. Here, kitty kitty. I tap where I want number 2 to go as I call out to it. Again, watches me with big eyes and its ears twitches like it's being indecisive. In the end, it does move. I cut it up and call out to it again. Come here, kitty, let's get you down from here. Number 2 looks away and then back, and I see one of its paws twitch. I tap more rapidly and then kitten inches forward a little. Come on, you can do it! Slowly crawls closer and I continue to encourage it. When it's finally close enough, I make sure I sit well before grabbing it with both hands. Number 2 meows loudly but doesn't put up much of a struggle. I bring it close to me and pet it reassuringly before reaching for my back. It's probably safer for it to be in there. After all, we both have to get down as well. Luckily I'm better at that than number 2 is, and I make my way back to the fork with ease. I drop down and place my back on the ground carefully. I bring the kitten back in my arms and it's looking fine, just tired from today's events. After a few seconds of being safe in my arms on the ground, the kitten falls asleep. I look at it closely and stroke it gently over its back. It's almost surreal. Now I'm faced with what to do next. I've rescued number 2 from the tree, but I don't want to let go of the kitten again. I don't want to be uncertain whether or not it has a warm place to sleep and food to eat. I'll take it home with me. We can look for its owner, and if we don't find anyone, number 2 will stay with us. It's just one more cat. Sure, it will be a lot of work, but with Rose's expertise, we'll easily manage. I make sure to text her that we're coming this time, so she can prepare the place for number 2. The kitten sleeps the entire walk home, only waking up when I lock the door. Rosa jumps up from the sofa when she hears us and sneaks up to us.
Where is number 3?
In your room.
In your room!
She reaches out a hand and tenderly strokes the kitten's cheek.
Hello there, sleepyhead.
Maybe because it's very tired, or because of Rosa's magic, the kitten isn't scared by her touch. It was stuck in a tree, so it's pretty tired right now.
Oh no! I'm glad it got down safely. How about we fetch number 2 some food and water and you can tell me all about it?
Sounds good. Will you take it? She nods and I hand her the sleepy kitten. Seconds later, it's hungry, feasting on its food, and I sit down next to Ro, in the sofa for the first time in a very long time. Sometime later. There are hundreds of them. Hundreds and hundreds. Or maybe 3 of them. It has already been, what, almost a year since they all moved in here? So much has happened. And this guy is still fat. I would assume he's even fatter. The chaos the first weeks when introducing the cats to each other are long over and they are all getting along well. A little too well actually. Me and Ro are outnumbered 2 to 3 in most matters. Number 1 and 3 have really taken it upon themselves to teach the youngest everything they know. Number 2 is not as shy and scared anymore, but I wish they could have held back in some matters, as the mischievous, playful little thing never ends bringing trouble. We have surprisingly calm time together as we wait for Ro to come back in with the mail. The door bursts open and in the blur of yellow, Ro bursts in, surprising both me and number 2. Number 1 and 3 not so much, as the former is still sound asleep and the latter seemingly never surprised by anything.
Holy crap! What a change!
Nice, girl. Hey, Natalie!
Hey, Natalie, guess who passed their finals?
I take an exit thinking pose and reply. I don't know. Maybe... I then snap my fingers down to her. Oh! You did!
Yep!
Her face almost as beaming as her dress is yellow. You know, I'm proud of you. I knew you'd pull through, and look where you are now. No more hiding away in the darkroom and letting your life get away from you. It's great to have the old you back. She's quiet for a moment, but it's good sort of quiet.
I couldn't have done it without you, you know. You've helped me more than you think, I bet. Anyway, enough of that. I think we're both earned ourselves a treat.
Well, you did all the earning credit, but I won't complain. With that, we leave the apartment under the competent supervision of number 3, who would maintain order while we are gone. Technically, he should be named number 1, and this guy number 2, and this guy number 3. Well, okay, to some extent at least. We meandered around for a good long while before choosing a cafe to stay at. After that, we continue walk without any clear destination, like the good old days. Ro and I both stop as we spot a cat in the distance. Uh-oh. We share a smile and both approach together. Uh-oh. Maybe it's not just like the old days. So, now that you have graduated, do you still want to go through with it?
Of course! The cats helped me find myself again, so I want to give something back. We need a bigger place!
I mean, we'll need a bigger place.
It might take center, but I want to create a cat shelter better than any other.
Nice. We crouch down to not frighten the cat as we close in. What should we call it?
How about... Cateau?
How about number 4? Oh, that would be it. What does this button do? Okay, it's like a save button. Okay. Stay or... Oh, what's... Ooh, there are more pictures. Guess I will unlock those by myself because technically I got like the best of endings, I think. Probably. Also, I need to check what this Chateau means. I'm not even sure if that's how you pronounce the thing, but... Chateau is a visual novel. Yes, I do realize that. But what's the meaning of the word? House, castle. Okay. I guess castle makes sense. Now that I think about it, there was some castle I knew about that is chateau or something. Anywho, hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you tomorrow in the next game. Probably not about cats, but who knows. I still haven't chosen next game. Until then, bye bye.